On the chain, this is Jeff here with co-host Chip. We have two amazing guests with us. Bad Crypto, Travis Wright and Joel Comm. Welcome, you guys. It's awesome to have you here on the show. Tonight, we are going to be talking about what other than digital assets. We might even talk about XRP. We might talk about Bitcoin. There might be a little controversy going on here also about all these altcoins versus the Bitcoin conversation. So if you guys are ready, Travis, Joel, Chip, why don't we kick this thing off?
Let's go.
Welcome to On the Chain.
What is up?
On the chain.
On the chain. It's off the chain.
I thought it was off the chain. Like, isn't it? Like, we're off. Just this episode's going to be off the chain.
Oh no, this is on the chain. On the chain. Off the chain episode of On the Chain. But
Yeah, on the chain.
So I want to start off by saying that
off the hook, off the chain, off the rope. It's off
Off
all
your
kinds
nuts,
of things.
off your rocker.
off your rocker. Yeah, that's people in crypto in general. But I wanted to say to you guys, so Jeff and I had the pleasure of being on your 300th fan appreciation episode. Now back then we were both doing separate shows, and I remember. So it was funny because I went back and listened to that. And one of the funniest moments is when I said, hey, guys, should I rebrand my show? Because at the time I was doing mostly focus on XRP before Jeff and I kicked off, more blockchain-centric stuff. And I don't remember, I think it was Joel that said, like, why don't you just call it the Shitcoin Show? And it was like, we laughed about that for a little bit. But I was like, that actually would be pretty good, except for the fact that it's got that word shit in it. But anyway, any host got. So, guys, you guys are...
Speaking of the word shit, I'm actually launching a show here coming up here in the next few weeks once everything gets all squared away, where I'm talking to people who do epic shit, and I'm calling it the Epic Shit Show.
Oh, that's nice.
I like that. That's a good one.
Yeah, it's got shit in it though, so now I'm thinking I need to name it to the Epic Chip Show or something.
Yeah, there you go. The Lemon Tree Show. That's what you.
The Lemon Tree Show. Get the lemons. So man, so this is awesome to have you guys on. You guys have a successful podcast.
The best one out there.
Obviously into the crypto space. So just kind of throwing it out there. First of all, how'd you guys stumble into crypto? And then how in the world did you guys get together and start doing a podcast together? Whichever order you want to talk in.
Well, I don't know. I think we matched on Grindr. And
hey, nothing wrong with that, bro. I'm cool.
Hey, it's 2021. What are you doing, guys? No. We have mutual friend Lori Ruff introduced us, I think, in 2013. Right. Yeah, she's the queen of digital marketing.
Yeah, I know Lori. Yeah.
In relationship building, and we connected. And I had a presentation out in Denver. We connected. We became friends. We're both jokers, and we're both in digital marketing and cracking jokes. And one day we were having lots of conversations around the political time, right? 2016. And I was like, this fiat money stuff is just crap. And we kept talking more and more about crypto. I asked him what he thought about Bitcoin. At that time, he didn't really have an opinion on Bitcoin at the time yet. And he's like, dude, it's magical internet money, dude. It's amazing.
Oh, that's the best.
And one day I said to him, like, we were having all these crypto conversations. I was like, dude, how long until we do the Joel and TW crypto show? He was like, dude, call me. I got an idea. And I was like, was it the idea that I just said?
It's just like that, but different.
Just like that, but different.
Yeah, very much like that. And that was it. We jumped in 2 days later. The website was up. The logo was designed. The first episode was recorded and distributed. And we just thought we would take people on this journey with us. Most of the shows that were out there, while there was quality out there, they were more high-minded and, techie in the blockchain space. And we're just, two dudes talking crypto, fascinated with it. We're professional broadcasters and marketers. We thought, let's just take our conversations to this podcast and let people come, invite them, come on this journey with us. And so it was a very welcoming, type of show. We're like, come on in, hang out with us. We're just going to chill, talk about crypto, what we're learning. We'll tell you what we're learning. You can teach us stuff. We'll bring cool people on who are smarter than we are. And we'll tell, fart jokes. And so I'm not sure which part of it resonated most. It's probably the fart jokes. And, built up a following. And now we actually do know a thing or two, and we advise on many projects. We launched a second podcast a little over a year ago called The Nifty Show. It was the first podcast about NFTs. And we've also been creators in the NFT space, and we've minted over 1 million NFTs across multiple original properties. So we're dabbling in a lot of different arenas, and we're just having fun doing it all.
I gotta say, you guys did one of the best interviews with David Schwartz that I've ever heard, because most people take him down a road of techno stuff. It was good to see him laughing, and it was good to see you guys ask the important questions like, hey man, what is the deal with the escrow? And tell me a little bit about, so I love the interview that you guys did, because you brought this, a fun perspective. And I got to tell you, my little secret thing with you guys is when I'm cutting the lawn, because I'm learning about crypto, doing a job that I have to do, that I got to be out there doing, and I crank up my ear pods, and you guys are just like, one guest after the other, which is great. But I want to talk a little bit about the NFTs. You guys have been crushing it. Now, Jeff and I have a limited edition 10,000 what do you call it, NFT coming out. We're working with an illustrator that's very well known in circles, and we're
circle. It's going to be
all circles.
10,000 circles. They're all
10,000 circles.
They're just a little bit bigger than the other one.
Yeah, not in circles. Not a problem. I don't got a problem with one of them, but so yeah, that's why I want to dig your heads a little bit. But you guys have been all over the NFT space, and what was the first thing you jumped into? I mean, how do you mint over 1 million NFTs? It's like, that's an insane number.
Not
like 7 questions in there. Should we do you want to pare that down?
No, I think we're going to go with all of them. Pick the one you want, Travis. Pick the one you want.
900,000.
900,000. Well, I'd say this. We saw crypto. We saw the ERC 721 with crypto kitties.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then we were laughing, we were cracking up about them, because what, these little digital pixels can have sex and make babies and make baby little kitties, this is hilarious. Yeah, that episode, the crypto kitties, bad crypto episode number, whatever it is, 40 something, and we were talking crypto kitties. That episode stands the test of time because it's pretty funny. We're cracking so many jokes on that episode, and just because we were like, dude, what the hell are these? And then we went and bought some. And then I think we both had several we picked up. And then that very next day after the show or whatever, I bought them. My computer crashed. My MacBook just literally, it just fried. And I hadn't backed up my MetaMask. So I lost all of my crypto kitties. They are stuck in purgatory. And they're probably starving. They're really angry at me. And Joel has all his fancy crypto kitties. But that was one of the first. That was actually... not the first, but one of many times that I've lost a little bit of crypto. So welcome to the game.
Yeah, we've all been there.
Wow.
Not Joel.
Joel, have you been there, Joel? Have you spent any time in hey, I lost the pass key to $325 million worth of Bitcoin because I tried my 10 passcodes? Or
I have maybe that many Satoshis. I don't know, but I have lost, but I've recovered. So I've never actually lost.
Well, let's talk about that. How did that go down, if you don't mind? Just
I forgot, the key and had to, keep guessing at it, or couldn't remember what thumb drive I stored something on. And
it was with some exchange or something. You sent some crypto to a wrong address.
Oh, that's right.
Bugging them or something, and they finally.
Yeah, it was an exchange. You know how they always warn you, do not send to this, or always send with a memo. And I messed it up, and then I wrote them, and they recovered it for me. True, look, it's on the chain. If it's in their wallet, they can find it. And I knew that.
Find it. It's track,
and they did. So I try not to lose things. I've already lost my mind, and so if I lose my crypto too.
Yeah, you don't want to lose your crypto. I mean, could you imagine what that would feel like if you knew you had it, right? And you have it on this thumb drive, and you've got one more chance at your password, right? You've got $20-30 million sitting in there. Right.
Well, I don't know what that feels like, but I do know what it feels like to lose crypto, because I lived through 2018 crash.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I know very well what it's like to lose crypto. 80% of my portfolio went. So, it's not losing in the traditional sense, but it's not winning.
Yeah. But you didn't panic though, right? You didn't panic sell and start flipping out like some people did.
I will say this: in March of 2020, I capitulated on some Bitcoin at 5,000.
Okay.
Big mistake.
Yeah. Well, I guess look, I mean, that's part of the game is the best way to learn is to just bounce off the walls, make a few choices. And, I mean, a lot of times people, we always say, like, don't chase the pumps necessarily, right? People love buying on the way up. It's like, Bitcoin hits 50,000 and everyone's, we got to buy Bitcoin. But when it hit 30, everyone's like, oh man, this is, I don't know, a good thing. It's a weird sort of a dichotomy with the human nature. I don't get what people don't understand about being on sale.
Crypto goes up, crypto goes down. I like it when crypto's on sale.
Oh, yeah.
But I think that this is that just happens. You know what I mean? It's like there's a psychology there, and like when people start panic selling, they start freaking out, and they're like, "Oh my god, I got to get out!" And like, no, dude, you just chill. Like this, but once you've been through a crypto winter and a cycle, then you just kind of like. It's like it's the other day. Oh my god, Bitcoin dropped to 40 whatever thousand. Oh, and I was like, it did. I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
It doesn't phase me anymore. How about that? All right. Well, let's move on with the day.
Yeah. It doesn't phase me anymore. I'm over it. And yeah.
Now, are you guys more Bitcoin centric, or are you dabbling in other assets?
I'm more shitcoin centric.
Yeah. all things. I mean, this tribalism is so funny. It's cult-like in many respects. I mean, there are people that follow coins in this absolutist mentality, almost like it's Coke versus Pepsi or PC versus Mac. I'm like, I've always used a PC and a Mac. I've used Apples since before they were Macs, and I used PCs before they were PCs. And right now I'm on my PC desktop, and when I go downstairs, I will be on my MacBook laptop using my iPhone. And I think you exclude yourself from opportunity when you think like there's only one way. So that's why Bitcoin maximalists, I think they have their head up their ass. Not that Bitcoin's not awesome, not that it's not the daddy of all of them, and not that it is sound money. It is all of those things. But there's a lot of stuff it doesn't do. And if we want to do those things, we need some of these other chains and different coins. Mm-hmm. It's obvious to me. And
I think a lot of those Bitcoin maximalists, though, Joel, are the ones that probably have a shitload of Bitcoin, and they just want Bitcoin just to keep booming, right? It's like, it seems like most of the maximalists are ones that got in really early in their maximalists because they won. They were there when Bitcoin was $1 or $10 or $100, and here it is, $40,000-$50,000. I mean, they're like, yeah, no, I'd be a Bitcoin maximalist too if I had all those Bitcoins. Like, no shit, are you serious?
Would you though?
3,000 Bitcoins, and now look at them. What?
Would you talk shit about other coins? Because I mean,
no, I'll probably try to leverage it though. I'd be like, all right, sweet, I'm gonna get some Ethereum. Like you get some Ethereum at 5 cents. Life doesn't suck for you, right? And then there's some other projects that have popped out, that we've been a part of that were like, one that I was in was like 250th of a penny, and then it goes all the way up to 1.35 cents. Like
there you go.
Yeah, and it's in the NFT space, and we saw it, and we go, oh, this could be great. And you know what? If you play your cards right, you're going to hit some winners. Some of them are going to be shit coins. Some of them are going to really do amazing things. It really reminds me of the tech boom and bust of the late 90s, early 2000s. It was like, you know what? There was some really crappy companies out there that was getting lots of VC dollars, and but what happened? Google came out of there really for the most part. Yahoo, Amazon, eBay, PayPal. There's several of those companies, even more so, like as companies that sort of dove into that space then, like Oracle, and then some of these companies, they popped up out of that space, right? LinkedIn, they evolved from that whole thing. And there's going to be a lot of these projects that are going to be around for a very long time. There's going to be probably 85-90% of them that are going to completely tank and go away. But that's the nature of startups in general. It's not that they're scams. That's that they're startups, and there's shitty leaders and misappropriations of funds and making bad assumptions and bad business moves. Like, shit happens.
Solving problems that don't need to be solved. A lot of these projects that are looking for problems, like what Jeff always says, they're in search of a problem. It's like, that's the wrong sort of way to go. And when you think about the whole idea, like Jeff and I said early days, like, hey, let's talk about blockchain, let's talk about innovation, geopolitical stuff, which we get into a lot on the show, and which I know you guys dabble around there too. You guys, it shines through. I don't think anybody's wondering where your political sort of beliefs lie, but I think that I guess my next question is for you guys. What do you think about this whole SEC picking winners and losers? You know, it didn't go after the Ethereum Foundation, but then it, you know, who actually funded an ICO, you know, from 2014 to 2015. Largely, we know the big investors who were involved in that. But now this massive attack with, I mean, it seems like regulation from almost any way. What are your thoughts?
It's over regulation. It's big government telling people, you know, allegedly free citizens what they can and can't do with their own money. It's just mind-boggling to me that we've allowed it to go this far, and I think that they're panicking to some degree because decentralized, you know, finance is a real thing. I don't know how you put this, you know, back in the bottle. This is out there, and now that people are getting taste of, wait, I can actually earn 10% to 100%. Locking up my tokens on this platform, and my bank wants to give me what, 2% on their very best day and charge me fees to go with it. Yeah, eat a bag of dicks, you know, centralized banking system. And I think that what's going to happen, what we're seeing happen is, you know, hey, we've moved to Puerto Rico. We are legally paying less taxes because of that. And there are people, we're not alone. There's a lot of people here who are doing the same thing. They're escaping the nonsense, and they're leaving these high taxation states, New York, California, Illinois, and they're moving to states that are more tax friendly, or they're leaving the country. They're getting a second passport. They're going to Portugal or Malta or Singapore or Mexico or Panama or St. Lucia. And they're like, fine, it's Atlas shrugged. It is Atlas shrugged.
Absolutely.
Exactly it.
Playing out. It's like the producers are going to say, you know what, you have pushed me too far. I'm out. I will leave you to tax the untaxable because they don't produce. And so they're overreaching, and that's what governments do.
That's why I moved to Russia. I live in Russia now. I identify as a Russian hacker. So if you're worried about your hacking with the cryptos, I apologize in advance, but don't leave your cryptos around for me to hack.
That's perfect. So I take it neither one of you guys are fans of Gary Daddy Gensler.
He is not my daddy. I do not know him. My daddy is named Vladimir Putin. He's my new daddy now.
The big daddy. The big daddy.
See how that whole Coinbase thing and how they were giving Coinbase a hard time, and they were like, but there's all these other projects that are doing DeFi, but we can't do DeFi because why? And they're like, and they won't tell them why, and it's just very secretive. And you know, we've harped about this for a long time. Is that, you know, more and more innovation is going to leave the States, right? The next Silicon Valley is not going to be in America. It's not. It's going to be in Switzerland, or it's going to be in Thailand, or it's going to be in Singapore, or it's going to be in the Bahamas somewhere, in the Caribbean, right? It's not going to be in America because America's leaders have lost their way. They're so beholden to big banks and big tech and their lobbyists that they don't care about innovation. Like there was a bunch of projects that have popped up that we weren't even able to invest in. Like when Flow was 10 cents in the ICO, like the only people who could not participate in this was North Korea, Iran, and America. Like, are you serious? Like what? And then like I would have loaded up the truck and dropped it on Flow. I knew that was going to be amazing. They got up to $30 a token or something. And I would have put in at least 20, 30 grand in that thing. And I would have been a very happy boy as a result of that. But the SEC says, hey, you can go and take all that 10, 15, 20 grand and you can go blow it on lottery tickets or go put it all on red or black, but you can't make this investment with your money because you're not accredited based on our standards. So I'm like, screw you guys.
We're not smart enough to meet their standards. And that's
right.
And you know, it's unfortunate, right? Yeah, exactly. And it's interesting because yesterday, Chip and I played a brief video with Gensler, and he was giving advice to college kids, and he was telling college kids they need to start saving now by putting $5 a week into their savings account, and to where they're going to earn 8% on their money. And we're talking about this, and while we had this plane looking up on the bank's paying 0.0. 5% on the money, and
it's going to be negative interest rates soon. They're going to take your money for having your money in bank accounts. That should happen in Greece It happened
Yep.
in some of these other places that defaulted on their stuff where there's negative interest rates. It's gonna be like, oh, you put $100 in and now you have $95.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
then what's the deal with banks too? I never understood this. It's always pissed me off in banks. It's like they penalize the poorest people. It's
Yes,
like,
they
oh,
do.
we just tried to do a transaction and you didn't have the money in there. So since you didn't have that money in there, we're going to charge you an extra $35.
There was almost an Andy Rooney moment there, Travis. What's the deal with banks?
What is
Yeah.
the, I mean,
What
what's the deal with
You know,
banks?
We're
By the
seeing-
way, just a side note, I was in New York one time. I was in an office building. I ran into that stodgy little dude. He was like going on. I'm like, that's Andy. And, hey, it's Andy Rooney. He goes, what do you want? And he like started going. It was like that's not the cute, lovable guy I see in 60 Minutes with the what do you it was like I was like, all right, no,
Get out of my fucking effing
Double
way, guy.
conversation.
How you doing?
Hey, quick shout out to XRP Speedboat. He said I was going to wear a Sheriff Gensler costume for Halloween, but the head doesn't fit up my ass.
but a chicken boom, but a chicken boom.
Look, we're seeing
Nice.
the last
Right.
gasp of
Look at that.
the old world financial systems, right?
Collapse.
They are
Yes.
panicking. They are scared. Fiat currencies are collapsing. They just keep printing more money and printing more money. We know from history that fiat currencies have a death cycle. We know from observing other countries, Venezuela, that pretty soon fiats become like toilet paper, that stacks of it aren't even good enough to wipe your ass with. And
It's littered on the ground like leaves.
yeah,
Burn it,
and
yeah.
we know that China just had a big story this week, right? That's their equivalent of Lehman Brothers, right? Was in drug
Evergrande.
trouble.
Yeah,
And-
Evergrande. They're in
and-
trouble.
Right, and what happened? The government came in and bailed them out. So you
Which
can
you
only
would have
keep
thought would have
picking.
made the U.S. dollar stronger. Didn't even blip the power of the dollar. You would think, oh man, Chinese companies are starting to default. Oh, the power of the U.S. dollar maybe should. Nope, nothing.
Yeah.
In
Well,
the
it's
life
interesting.
cycle for paper money is near. Like, if you don't understand that, folks, you don't understand what paper currency is. And central bank fiat money always has an end of life cycle. And we are nearing that, and they keep kicking the can down the road. They keep propping it up, but it's going to go boom. And when it goes boom, it's going to be insane. You thought the riots last year were crazy with the whole BLM and all the thing. Like when people don't have food and they have no money because mass inflation goes up, like it's going to be biblical.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
unfortunate. Well, that's the whole idea. Centralized, right? The CBDCs, they're going to try to trick us with the CBDCs, like it's like blockchain or crypto.
Yeah, I smoked that
Centralized.
CBDC
Central-
stuff. Did that get you high?
And the old thing of the Fed, it's like, can you imagine since 1913, and then we go to 1971, we get off the gold standard, and then for some weird reason, nobody ever thinks like, it's a lot of years, over 100 years. Anybody think to ever audit the Fed, look at the real balance sheet, see what's going on? And then we find out that Jeff, what was the story we found out that a lot of the people from the Fed were investing in securities?
So you have multiple representatives high up in the Fed who were investing in the securities that they were acquiring. During this, the Fed's been purchasing all sorts of paper, over the past year and a half, and they're sitting on a mountain, right? And so then you find out that this guy was holding some of it was long-term holds. But it's crazy because as what you're talking about with what's going on over in China right now, you have the U.S. We're not going to meet our the budget, right? So now we're going to default on our budget, and they want to raise the debt ceiling, and they want to do all this stuff, and they're basically like, hey, we can just print $1 trillion. They're just going to spend it into oblivion while they're attacking cryptocurrency all at the same time. I just saw an interesting article there were like 20 different banks got together and they're petitioning because they want to have, while the government's fighting right now on all this, regulation, the banks want a little breathing room so they can start acquiring cryptocurrency. And so there's all these like variables going on right now.
And meanwhile, our federal government like auctions off any Bitcoin that they confiscate for pennies on the dollar, right?
Idiots, yeah.
And then you got, you had El Salvador today talking about how they bought another 150 Bitcoin during the dip. Now they have 700 Bitcoin. Like, think of all the Bitcoin that the FBI had confiscated and that was auctioned off to like Tim Draper and stuff, right? Like, if they had held that, like, how about grow some assets and hold these things?
Right. How about Miami coin? Miami coin's making, what is it, Jeff?
$2,000 every 10 minutes.
Every 10 minutes, Miami
We
coin.
talked about that today on our episode.
Pretty nice.
Right. More
Crushing
cities are going to start doing this, and it's going to create these little micro communities, microcurrencies. It's, guys, it's the way it used to be before the Federal Reserve Bank, right? There used to be hundreds of local banks all over. I got paper dollars from all over, like even Confederate money, right? But it's like, from the Northern Bank of Northern Virginia, right? And like, here's this one from Illinois, from the Bank of Illinois, from the Bank of Chicago. Like, they all have their own dollars. That's what's going to start happening is these banks are going to have their own dollars. These communities are going to have their own dollars. And maybe does it take power away from the federal government in a way when the money becomes more localized? I mean, I don't know.
I'm going to have Joel's box. That's
Joel
what I
Bucks?
got. Joel Bucks.
Joel
Like-
Buck sounds good. Yeah, I mean, we talked often about Yeti coin because we want to get Yeti coin. It's an elusive coin, elusive animal. Nobody really can find it or track it. It's real privacy coin based, and
There's only one of them, but you can't see it.
can't find it. But
Take a
like
picture of it, it's blurry. Like,
But
even
it's like-
in the age where everybody has a smartphone, Bigfoot is still blurry. There was a joke by Mitch Hedberg. It's
that's
like
true. That is
everybody
so
takes
true.
photos of Bigfoot, and they're always blurry. And
Yeah,
that
even
to me
today.
is extra scary.
Yeah.
Big
Well,
coin.
we can do like the Fed was talking about minting a $1 trillion coin, $1 trillion Yeti coin. It's worth $1 trillion. Who holds it?
Oh, yeah.
Can you
Right.
fractionalize it? I mean, who knows? I don't know.
I just want to know. are we
The
there
Fedi
yet?
owns it. It's the Fedi Yeti.
Yeti.
The Fedi coin. Yeah.
Fedi Wap.
What I like to do is we're always dealing with the present, and the present, we can reflect on the past, but I like to go into the future, right?
All
Let's pretend that it is 2023 right now, and it's September of 2023, and Bitcoin is at $150,000, and we're gonna be like, remember when, or 200, a quarter million, whatever. Remember when we were talking about that run? It's like the way we look back at 2017, 18, we talk about that now, and the people before that looked at 2013, 14. Like, let's look at this from the future. We know where this thing is going. It's going to take a massive black swan event for it to not go where most of us believe that it is going. And so looking back at this run and the government doing what they're doing, we know that more financial institutions and other institutional organizations are buying Bitcoin than ever before. We know that more companies are buying it quietly. Right? We don't know how much Apple has. We don't know how much Amazon has. Tell me they're not acquiring.
They
Come
have
on.
to be. Come on.
Tell me they're not. Tell me governments of the world are not scooping up what they can. And we know they're investing in blockchains for their infrastructure and for their infrastructure. We know that more people are moving towards Bitcoin, and we know that every single second of every single day, blockchain is moving forward. There's never a day, no matter how bad the news is, that we are producing less in developing and creating the future of blockchain and crypto. It doesn't happen. More people are getting in, more people are creating, more people are innovating and developing. It's only moving forward. It is like this massive boulder that is slowly rolling down the hill, picking up everything in its wake. And we're going to look back a few years from now and go, of course, this was where we were then.
And Joel,
Your point,
Sitting at 40,000 and wondering if we should buy more, right?
yeah. Well, like when the infrastructure bill came out and they go, they're going to put an end to it's the end of crypto. And it was like the crypto market went, yeah, whatever. And it was just like,
well, what's
okay,
amazing,
we're going to move
Travis,
away then.
Travis, on that one, what's crazy is that, two instances right now. You have the SEC going after Ripple, right? And the one thing that the SEC it never anticipated, neither did the courts, is that the groundswell within the XRP community came out in force. And it's stuff that has never happened ever in history, where the SEC sues a company and all of a sudden thousands of people are showing up, at the court hearings, just in discovery, just hammering them, right?
Wow.
And they're just there, right? There's thousands of
sign. Somebody pull up with like a yellow pad, buy XRP.
That's it. It was
Some
funny
people-
at the beginning. people were doing that. They had the phone lines open and people were saying all sorts of stuff and they had to
Some
shut the phone
things.
lines down.
Morons. You know, you always get a few people on there, you know, it's like, enter your army or some stupid thing like that. But the whole thing is,
when people start working together, like, I don't know if you guys have seen what's happened, like in Melbourne this past week with the protests and stuff that's going on down there. Like, there's some authoritarian stuff going on in Australia. It's like the NWO like beta test. And they literally say it on the news. Oh, with the new world order here and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Like they're saying it like
they said the part loud. Yeah,
the conspiracy theorist being right again.
Yeah, they said that.
Our president couldn't remember the prime minister's name. You know, that fellow from down under.
Had his get his diaper changed. So had it.
He doesn't know it's time to change his diaper. Somebody needs to change my diaper. He was walking around. There's a video of him walking around. He's like, I just got my butt wiped. I just got my butt wiped. Like literally, like, what the hell? Like, oh man, crazy.
But you know what's weird? It's like it's like that what is that? The Emperor's New Clothes. Let's all pretend like, oh, beautiful set of new clothes. We're all pretending like this is normal. The cognitive law.
Pretending. Are you pretending?
But it sounds to me like everyone's looking the other. Hell no. We called it. You could see it. That's why the guy hid his basement for 2 years. I mean, my God. But the fact is, everyone's like going like, Okay, that didn't make any sense. Just pick a question.
8 in the morning. I'm gonna put a lid on the day.
You can put one sentence together, but that's cool. We'll just pretend like everything's okay. Nothing to see here. Everything's good.
All this is normal. He's sitting there with the Prime Minister of the UK with Boris Johnson, and it's just insane. I don't know how these world leaders are sitting with him, you know, and having honest conversation. It's just the craziest. Why the government's run amok and they're attacking crypto right now.
What kind of sociopath, or somewhere in the sociopath to psychopath level, must you be as a personality type to say, I'm going to lead these people as their king or as their president? Because most of us are not sociopaths or psychopaths. Travis might be.
I'm going to be at both.
He's a pathopath. He's pathogeneric.
I'm an astropath.
We just want to go about our lives.
Right.
But in order to be a person that's like, I'm going to help these people tell them how to go about their lives, what kind of psycho must you be? And I don't care whether you're a Republican or a Democrat. I'm like, you know, they jabbed at Trump for being egotistic. Well, duh. You don't think Obama was? You don't think Clinton was? You don't think, come on, gang, wake up. It's ridiculous. And so we, the people, elect, again, quotes, elect these people, and we get exactly what we deserve. You know, if you go back to the Old Testament, as the story goes, it wasn't God's idea for Israel to have a king. That was their idea. It was like, you know, he had the laws, and this is how you live, and you don't need a person to be a ruler. And they're like, give us a king, give us judges, and to help people rule over us. Well, guess what? You got what you asked for, bitches. And
that is why I'm declaring myself king of bad Cryptopia, Joel.
No. No.
Imprison him.
Yeah.
Legion, get him. Get Joel. He's down over there.
I am down over there.
Scallywag.
Yes.
That was like it's like pirate talk over there, man.
Scurvy dog to the yard arm with you.
Walk the plank, baby.
Yeah. So what's it like living in Puerto Rico? I mean, obviously it's beautiful there. I mean, but are you guys in a community where there's like a bunch of crypto people hanging? Because I mean, every time I look on Twitter, someone else just moved to Puerto Rico. Yeah. It's like I see a lot of.
There's a lot of crypto people in San Juan, and there's a lot of crypto people on the island. I moved to a place called Palmas del Mar, which is outside Humacao, and it's on the southeast coast, and it's a really nice community. And I had a couple friends here before I moved here.
Okay, nice.
And I am now more connected here after just 5 months of living here with more amazing, super kind, super giving, thoughtful, smart, successful people than I was after living in Denver for 10 years. Wow. I kid you, I'm not, and this is not an exaggeration. We're talking far and above what I had.
It's neighborly, it's friendly, it's like a community. It's community driven.
It's a community. And everybody, the people here are very like-minded. We know why we're here.
Yeah.
We wanted to get away from the BS. We wanted to keep more of the money that we work very hard to earn, and we want to be around people with a success mindset. And so, I mean, you can't be here and not discover more opportunity. So Travis is north.
Jeff, are we looking at Puerto Rico, Jeff? Is that something that's in our?
It's on my itinerary, and I'm packing tomorrow.
I think we have to start thinking strongly about this.
I'm going to run for king of Puerto Rico once I get there.
Travis
was
can't be king. He doesn't even know how to unmute a mic, so clearly he can't be king.
He's
I
muted.
didn't even know it was muted. See, that's what it doesn't show mutes on the things. It's only down below. I'm a mute.
Next up with the mute on your name.
Yeah,
So that was the famous thing when they signed the Constitution. Ben Franklin comes out and they said, "What did you give us? A king or a republic?" He goes, "A republic if you can keep it." And we see that right there is something that we are fighting tooth and nail. And then so our buddy from Croatia wrote me a tweet today, and he said he's a respondent of mine saying, "Look, the Croatians, the Balkan War, we had communism here until 1990. Beware, you guys are headed there." I said, "Well, there's 330 million people, 350 million guns. I like our chances." And then his response to that was, "Yes, but the better way is just to hang them all." And I was like, okay, that's something to think about. Treason, you could go there as well.
Did that happen? I went to Romania, and I was at Bucharest. I spoke at an event there, and they built this big parliament thing. This thing is so huge. It's like, I don't even know. It's just a ridiculous amount of square foot. It took so much money. And Nicholas Ceausescu and his wife, they were communist regime. Yeah. And then on live TV in 1988, 89, something like that, like they literally tried them at a court. They were viewed to be treasonous to their countrymen, and they were taken out back and shot on live television on Christmas Day.
Pretty rough, man.
And you could see, and here's where it was, and here's the bullet holes in the wall. Like, wow, that's kind of creepy, and holy cow. But what was interesting was that Nicholas Ceausescu got up, and he was trying to quell everybody. He got up and did this huge, big speech in front of everybody in their big square or whatever, and then people just started going crazy, and an actual real insurrection happened. And he ran for his life, and they just kept coming after him and got rid of him because he was communist scum. Now, it's just interesting to see how these communist scum just kind of hang around and linger and just infiltrate organizations and industries. Like academia is so infiltrated with people who are socialists and communists, and they get so indoctrinated. Like people who go through more education up until masters. If you got a master's, it's so hard to break your indoctrination. It's really, really hard.
You paid a lot for it. Yeah, it made colleges and universities in the Western world today are more indoctrination centers than educational higher learning institutions. Now, I'm not talking about, if you need to go to school because you're going to be a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer, there's certain education that you do need. But most of the liberal arts and the, humanities, they're just indoctrinating them. And of course, this is where, if any of them are listening, they'll have this sense of righteous indignation and you don't know what you're talking. No, you're brainwashed. Okay, Junior.
Very self-righteous. Have you noticed how self-righteous? It's like they're so educated that they're like, I am so intelligent. I have a master's degree.
But they don't do anything, Travis. The thing is that they're in academia so long, right? So look at this Saul Amarova. She's Biden's latest pick to lead the office of the comptroller. And you know what some of her beliefs are, besides being a full-on communist, Marxist, you name it? She believes that there should not be private banks. It should all be run by the Fed. Get out of here right now. I mean, what the hell's wrong with this woman? And so it's I'm reading a line. Here's one of the headlines. Biden's OCC pick cheered by progressives, jeered by the industry. How about who thinks that this is a good idea? We had Brian Brooks, who, ex-counsel from Coinbase, goes in there, does a couple of good things, especially allowing banks to custody crypto. And now you're going to have this woman jump in there and basically do it. I can't imagine she'd be confirmed, but what the hell? The Republican Party's dead. They're a bunch of feckless worms, and they'll just roll over like normal, like they always do.
It's been so crazy. Yeah, it's been so crazy lately. And you're right. You look at the way everything within academia, it's all based on theory. And then they want to take this, but they think their theory is the right theory, and they like to sit around and pontificate. And it's interesting because when I was in graduate school and I got a master's in economics, and it was crazy because the whole time I'm there, and I got it young, I was in and out, done. I counted on one hand of 2 fingers, maybe 3, of professors that actually had any real world experience. And it was so difficult to navigate. And I only would pick professors that had real world experience, and the ones that didn't, it was a constant conflict.
Right. Isn't it interesting that higher education and journalism attract activists?
Yep.
Not teachers and people that are seeking to objectively report the news. It attracts activists. And this is a great way to infiltrate and bring down a country. It's a great way to keep people trapped in the matrix and unaware of what's really going on. And, if just one person watching this, goes, maybe I should think more for myself, then your job, is done, right? Because it's really all about rescuing people out of the mindset that what they've been told is somehow the truth.
Oh, yeah. And we try to do that a lot. It's great on the show. We love talking and get into, cryptocurrency and everything we're talking about tonight. And then we start getting into the politics. And I always say, you have to understand the full cycle, because if you don't understand the politics, you'll never understand why cryptocurrency is so critical to our space right now. So right. True. And you can understand the technology of it, but that doesn't give you the understanding of why you need to invest, the benefit it's bringing to all the people. And then you also have to understand those that are trying to, be antagonistic against what you're passionate about and want to crush it. And so that's why we always bring in the politics of it and try to, explain to people. But you're right. If we can just reach out and just grab one person, we've done our job. And
that's great. If you want to do some research, here's a key piece of information for you to take a look at. And G. Edward Griffin interviewed a Soviet defector by the name of Yuri Bezmenov. So if you just go on YouTube and type in G. Edward Griffin, Soviet defector, Yuri, Y-U-R-I, and watch it. It's like 7, maybe 10 minutes long. And he talks about how it's going to take about 3 generations over the course of 60 years, 50, 60 years, to really fully indoctrinate and to get people to embrace communism. And that's about what it took, right? It's like it took about these 60. And if you watch that and you go, holy cow, that is pretty much exactly what's happened. And I think that's one of the reasons why the CCP and the Chinese Communist Party was allowed to stick around. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but like wasn't it MacArthur? I think it was MacArthur who was like in the Korean War. They were like, nope, let's go and take out China because this communism, we gotta get rid of it. And they're like, no, we'll let it do its thing. And like, big mistake. They should have just marched right into China and got rid of the Chinese party and let them go back to being Buddhist and kind and one with nature. It's just a much better system. Like, China kind of freaks you out when you think about all of those empty cities that can hold like 20 million people and just completely empty and nobody's in them right now at all. Like, what are they there for? Like, when are those going to be fully operational? Like, what was the point of those? Is that going to be like a new little utopia that's like the panopticon going on? Another great book you guys should read if you want to pay attention to what's coming potentially is a book called The Perfect Police State. And it's about
Is it about Australia? Just curious.
What's that?
Is it about Australia?
No, it's about China and what China has done to the in Western China to the Uyghur population. UGHYER or something like that. The Uyghur population.
Uyghurs,
yeah, the Uyghurs. They've literally got rid of all the dudes. Then they give the wives a government-sanctioned husband who lives with them and F's the Uyghur out of them, right? To breed it out of them. They indoctrinate their children in schools. Everybody has to have a mandated government camera in their home, sometimes multiple. So if you're caught unindoctrinating your children, then they take you to the camps as well. There's millions of cameras all around using AI, and it's a panopticon. And it's the test right there. A mandate is not a law. It's when 2 gentlemen go out for a nice meal. That's not. There you go. Joe bringing the levity.
A mandate.
A mandate. That's awesome.
Those are so popular, by the way, mandates, Jeff and I do that all the time, go out to dinner. It's fun.
It's when 2 gentlemen go out for a nice meal.
2 gentlemen. Yeah. 2 gentlemen callers. 2 gentlemen callers. Go for a nice meal. Or whiskey or something. Yeah.
We don't do that here. But hey, so it's interesting. You talk about what's going on in China. The one thing that we see kind of reverberating right now throughout the banking space, they're talking about the central bank digital currencies. And we've seen what China's doing with the digital yuan. And we also know what China's been doing with their Belt and Road Initiative. And you input a little bit of the communist rhetoric and in conflict with the capitalist, their capitalist economy. And for years, when you saw a little bit of the free market starting to take root over in China, the communist government would shut it down. Then it would come back a little more and grow. At some point, the communist government kind of took a back seat and allowed it to grow. They understood then how they're going to outreach and take advantage of the whole world. And now it's interesting because now we're seeing the government again is coming back and they're starting to shut things down. They're starting to take over. Look at what they did with Jack Ma from Alibaba, right? All of a sudden he just
did in Hong Kong. Like they literally shut down one of the largest capitalist cities in the entire world.
And
Insane.
why the hell would the UK honor that agreement? It's like, you know what? I know we said we'd give it back. We changed our mind. Tough luck. Because you knew that it would take, I actually thought it would happen in 10 years. It turned out to be 20, but still 20 years. And look what happened. It's a bunch of rubble. Now do you think anyone's going to protect Taiwan?
Yeah. Well, they gave it to them back then. So with the geopolitics with China, like Clinton, when he was president, like he gave China all kinds of leeway, lots of funds, lots of different technologies. They gave them so many contracts.
Hillary would not let me do that. I did not have sexual relations with the Chinese ambassador.
I did not. They had sexual relations with me.
I did not have sex with Hillary either because have you looked at her? No.
She's an hideous.
Hideous
Hildebeest.
Did somebody say heinous? I love it.
Heinous? What the hell kind of this show's devolved to? My God.
Hillary's heinous anus.
Well, that was a song I wasn't expecting, but all right, I'll roll with it.
No, here's something crazy. Here's something crazy about the Clinton family. Most people don't know, but it's like Hillary's dad, Hugh Rodham. Like Hugh Rodham was one of the dudes, and another guy were like co-leaders of the Chicago Mafia after Al Capone was gone. Like Hugh Rodham, like that's one of the reasons Bill Clinton married Hillary was because of all those mafia connections. And tell me that the government is not ran like mafia these days. Like
it pretty much
Pelosi's
is.
dad was like in the mafiosa. He was a governor or something, mayor of Baltimore or something, but he was totally De La Cietano or some shit. I don't remember what his name is, but like it's just like the whole government is ran by like mafioso now. Is what it seems like.
Travis Wright did not kill himself.
Travis Wright did not. Travis Wright had 0% chance of killing himself.
Also here, no chance. Any chance here of anybody? No.
I'm pretty sure it never crossed my mind.
I'm a nobody though. They know they're gonna get off me.
I might kill a glass of wine, when we're done here. But that's it.
My dog
what do you drink, Joel?
Bug today. My dog killed a bug and then pissed on the bug. Like
there you go.
What a mafiosa thing that was. I was like, it pissed on the rug. It was on the bug. Like, come on,
nice.
Yeah, true story.
So how far away are you guys from each other? Like how distance wise?
In the words of Dire Straits, you're so far away from me.
So we're talking like
about 35 minutes or so, 40 minutes.
45.
That's not bad. Is that a jog or a walk or a brisk walk or like is like a train?
They have cars here.
Oh, they do. Okay, I wasn't sure. Just asking.
You guys are driving around in golf carts or something.
He's got the bad crypto Jeep. I got the Nifty Show Jeep.
Oh, nice. So you guys
planned that way. I was going to get a different Jeep whenever I went to it, but they had sold it the day before, and I was like, "Well, what else do you got?" Like, I got this one. I was like, "All right, well, I got to go see this house. I guess I'll buy it real quick." And I bought it.
Nice.
And I didn't even realize it was white gold until I saw afterwards. He was like, "That's gay."
Did you install that? Did you install the lighting there, Travis? On that, you put the lighting in the back there.
What's that?
That came with the house. That came with the truck.
They came with the house. The dude who owned the house was an audio visual guy. So he's got all kinds of. In fact, he came by today to show me how to do some of this shit because I was like, why can't I ever hear anything out of these two speakers? And he was like, oh, you need to set this out here. I was like, all right, now my music sounds better. And then upstairs, I couldn't get the music to play over the speakers at all, and he had to show me how to set that up. So I'm like, don't touch anything, people.
Let it roll.
Let it roll.
Yo, that's like you. It's like you have the PlayStation or something going on the TV behind you.
No, actually, I was listening to some music, so I can literally just hit this on my music here, and I can start playing some music. Yeah, it should just
Music God, DJ.
That's very cool.
Yeah, I like the little emoji face in the background there. That's kind of how I feel most days. Uh-oh. Here comes the strike. Here comes the strike.
And now your live stream is
No,
demonetized.
here comes the strike. No, turn it down. Turn it down. No, listen. So the funny thing is, like we would have a piece of music we would play every show, and this is what I love about YouTube, right? There's no proactivity going on. You can't just like, hey, we bought the rights to this music. Here's our license, and you just load it in there. No. Every single show we got a freaking strike. And then you got to go through there and you got to blah, blah. I'm like, this is Google, the smartest, supposedly we're told they're the smartest humans on earth, but they can't detect the same spam coming every day where somebody says something and then they tell you to go on WhatsApp and talk about this guy. This is the thing that kills me. And then there's 4,000 replies to that. Google doesn't pick up. Like, gee, that seems like awkward activity.
They really don't like crypto over there at Google. I don't think.
Don't.
Because we got banned off of YouTube. Our Bad Crypto channel got banned for like 2 years from, I think it was like November 2017 to November 2019. Like the prime time for growth in a crypto channel. And we got cut off at the knees. But we said,
no appeal. And finally met a guy who's like, let me reach out to this dude. And they checked it out. And the guy was like, oops, that was a mistake.
Yeah, 2 years later.
Oh. Bring that up. Hey, XRP Speedboat, quick shout out to you. Thanks for the support. I was saying, hey, Travis, is that tat on your right arm the key to a cold wallet?
Yes, it is, isn't
it? Yeah.
This is actually Metatron's cube. Yeah. It's sacred geometry. It's sacred geometry that showed up. It's like 10,000 years old, etched in all these different places. It's pretty crazy. If you're interested in it, go on YouTube. There's a series called Spirit Science. Spirit Science Episode 6 and Spirit Science Episode 10 will tell you all about Metatron's Cube. It's a trip.
You're like a walking encyclopedia there, Travis.
Really
it's like
I don't go to a job. I research shit that's interesting to me. I don't watch a lot of television. I don't waste time playing a lot of video games. I'm either doing work with Joel on something, or I'm researching something, going down a rabbit hole, or smoking a bowl of marijuana.
There you go.
I don't do that. But I waste my time playing video games. I waste my time watching TV. What was the other stuff that makes me not
smoke marijuana?
I don't smoke marijuana. I used to, though.
He plays video games, watches TV, doesn't smoke marijuana. I do all three of those. I do the opposite of that on all three of those things.
And you guys both go down rabbit holes. So there's a good sort of a match made right there.
Oh, he's a hound dog. He likes to chase him.
Not untrue.
Yeah.
Not untrue.
No, you can't deny it.
So how long is your show each time?
It's 1 hour. It's a 1 hour. It's about 17 hours.
So we got 2 minutes left, folks.
Pretty much, yeah.
We're wrapping up here, and we got like 7 minutes.
We're gonna wrap it up.
It's crazy. It goes by quick. There's a lot to talk about. I do want to get from you guys, and it's just to get in. You guys invest in a lot of different digital assets. What are your thoughts about XRP?
It's a token. It's centralized, and it's probably here for the long haul. I think it's got a good chance of becoming the payment system for the banks.
There you go. Travis, you want to weigh in?
I'm not tribal about it.
Yeah, I don't own any.
Yeah. Have you guys owned any Stellar? Because I got an email from Stellar today, and they said they were having some giant staking competition where you could earn a big yield. And I was like, that's weird. The SEC's not knocking on their door either. It's kind of weird, huh?
I'm not aware of that. Where's the staking thing happening?
They said there's like a staking hackathon going on. I don't know. I got the email earlier today. I was like, what the hell is this all about?
I like steak.
Yeah, I love it. A little bit of little asparagus inside.
There's been a lot of interesting stuff going on here. I'll just as we're wrapping this thing up, aside from XRP, I really don't have an opinion on XRP. We've interviewed Brad Garlinghouse. He was cool. We interviewed
We can't interview him here, even though we can't interview him here, though, so that's cool.
I don't know why.
We do a show about XRP. We can't get him on the show. Well, because we also throw criticisms too. We call him out on bullshit too. The whole
the green nonsense.
The green nonsense.
You guys XRP maximalists?
No, man. We don't. No, Bitcoin. Ethereum. You name it. Go down the list. We own, between Jeff and I, we own a ton of different digital assets, you know.
Yeah.
So no, I'm not.
I would say
this
this
is
to your folks, the people who are listening that have tuned in this far, they're still listening, tuning in, is that, and then, you know, Joel and I, we've talked about this quite a little bit. You know, we knew that, you know, DeFi happened. That was going to be huge. We knew NFTs were happening. Like we saw that earlier. That was going to be huge. And we're seeing now that these crypto projects that are play to earn is going to be probably one of the bigger movements to drive in users to crypto. NFT is pretty big. Play to earn seems to be.
Give an example of play to earn.
Like Splinterlands and Star Atlas and Axie Infinity and all these other ones that are play to earn. More stuff's popping out. We're building something with blockchain heroes around that as well. So I mean, do research on things, folks, and find additional opportunities, because there are billions and billions to be made, because the total market cap in crypto is only about $2 trillion. And how many trillion, quadrillion dollars are there in total existence? More of that money is going to be tokenized, and there's opportunities for you. You just got to go out and find them.
Exactly. Well, gentlemen, listen, I really want to thank you guys for coming on here. It was a real pleasure. I mean, we got to be part of your 300th episode in an individual basis, and you know, what a great thing for you guys to really dedicate your time. Come on here and you know, give your expert opinions. You know, like I said, Jeff and I are big fans of the podcast, and I especially like it when I'm mowing the lawn. It's just my thing, man. I throw it on there, turn on the silence mode, push that mower, and I get to listen to you guys having some cool guests. I like you had Ja Rule on too. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, he was cool. Well, listen, thanks for having us on. We'll let you guys go back to your mandate.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Official
any
mandate.
of the listeners that want to, you know, come over and listen to us while you mow, we're on badcryptopodcast.com and we're theNiftyShow.com if you want to learn more about NFTs and play to earn and all that good stuff there.
You know what? I just thought of a great podcast that you could do while mowing your lawn. You can call it "Tell Me Mow."
There you go.
There you go.
There's always the background noise. It's like white noise.
All right, guys. Well, listen, we're gonna go. Jeff, you want to just take us out of here, and then we'll
out of here, Jeff.
For everybody that we got in here tonight, I want to give you guys, you know, a big, you know, thank you to Travis and to Joel for coming on the show, being here with us. The one thing that is for certain, all of our subscribers, all those who come on the live stream, they are by far the smartest people in the crypto space. Love you guys. Thanks for being here with us. And we do stream 6 days a week, Sunday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I know it's a lot, Joel, but it's a lot.
Jeff goes on his rants. Jeff does his epic rants on Saturday morning when he just goes nuts. I don't do the show. I just listen to in the background. I'm out on the lanai laying by the pool, and Jeff goes on epic rants. But guys, hang on for 2 seconds. We're going to end the show right here, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Chip, Jeff, Joel, Travis, out.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.